Happy Friday. Today I am reading to you from my parents' roof. I am visiting with my parents, and the room that I stay in has access to the roof, and so it's got this little flat part that I can come out here and sit on, so that's how I look so tall. But you can see the road down there. That's the room, the window to my brother's old room. I am safe up on this ledge, but I'm enjoying being in the sun and getting some fresh air. So I hope that you get some fresh air today as well, and that you enjoy your weekend. Ooh, today I am reading chapter 27 to you. When Serafina woke, she found herself lying in the Angel's Glade with Brayden and Gideon standing nearby. She quickly got herself up onto her feet to see what was happening. "What do you think you're doing?" a male voice said in a forceful tone. Serafina looked around the forest. "I wasn't gonna hurt anyone, I swear," Brayden replied. "Nothing happened." "Something always happens with that thing," Wesa said as he stepped out of the forest. His long, dark hair hung down around his shoulders, and his brown skin glistened in the morning light. His chest was bare, and he wore simple trousers. The pattern of the tribe's ancestral tattoos marked his face and arms. "What's wrong with you? Why did you put on the cloak?" "I'm sorry," Brayden said to him, shaking his head. What was it?" Wesa demanded. "What happened?" "My aunt and uncle were having a party in the rose garden with all the guests." "Oh yes, that's a good reason. Lots of excellent victims to choose from," Wesa said sarcastically. "No," Brayden said. "I was sitting on the bench up on the library terrace away from everybody. Then a strange feeling came over me." "What do you mean a strange feeling?" Wesa said, narrowing his eyes. "I don't know what it was," Brayden said. "Terrible sadness and pain, like I was going through it all over again. Like she was actually there and needed my help. But I couldn't help her. I felt like I could just almost reach out and touch her, but I couldn't. I just felt so hopeless, like all this was never going to end. I thought maybe if I put on the cloak, I could find her, reach her somehow, and help her. I had to do something." So what Wesa is asking Brayden about is when he put on the black cloak and we were so confused thinking that Brayden was turning evil. And what Brayden just described is that no, he wasn't. It was just that he wanted to see if he could reach Serafina somehow. Ooh, and the weird feeling that he felt was when Serafina was near him, and she said that she could tell her presence bothered him. "But not that," Wesa said. "Never put it on. It's too dangerous, especially now." "I won't be doing it again, believe me," Brayden said. "It was awful. I need to find my own way through all this." Wesa nodded, seeming to understand. "You frightened me, my friend," he said as he walked toward him. The two boys shook hands warmly, with the ease of familiarity, then embraced briefly and separated. Serafina was happy to see Wesa here, but it surprised her to see them greet each other so warmly. They had first met during the battle against Uriah and Rowena, but they had not been close. It was a peculiar feeling to have her two friends become friends without her. She thought it was interesting how different they looked from each other. Wesa was taller than Brayden, and much physically stronger, with muscled arms and legs. He was a boy of action, taut and fierce. Brayden had lighter hair and a younger, softer face. He was a quiet, polite, smartly dressed boy of the house with his dog at his side. Wesa turned and looked at her body lying in the grave. She could see from the moody look in his eyes that he wasn't in agreement with what Brayden and Gideon had done. "First you put on the cloak, and then you do this?" "I don't understand what comes next, Wesa," Brayden said. "What are we waiting for? What's going to happen?" But Wesa didn't reply. "That's all that's left of her," Brayden said, pointing at the body in the grave. "You know that isn't true," Wesa said, setting his jaw. "But she's been buried here since the night on the patio. How can this go on?" "This is just her human body," Wesa said. "As long as the angel protects this part of her, then there is hope." "But hope for what? What's the rest of her? Where'd she go?" "I'm right here," Serafina said. "I've seen her," Wesa said. What? Serafina said, looking at him in surprise. You've seen me? What are you talking about? You haven't seen me. Sometimes she lingers here near the grave, Wesa said. Yes, I'm here now. Does she recognize you? Brayden asked, keenly interested in what Wesa was saying. I don't honestly know, Wesa said sadly. She seems as wild as the forest itself. The last time I saw her, I tried to follow her, but she attacked me. Serafina frowned. They weren't talking about her spirit, they were talking about the panther. Her spirit is split, Wesa said. I don't understand what that means, Brayden said. Her three, her trinity, has been torn apart, Wesa said, trying to explain it the best he could. What does that mean? It's her heart, her spirit, Wesa said. Brayden shook his head as he looked down at her body. I wish I could have done more for her. You did all you could do, Wesa said. Brayden shook his head as he looked down. But I didn't save her, he said. We don't know that yet, Wesa said. There are still many feet traveling many paths. Brayden looked up at him. What do you mean? Is something happening? Have you spoken to Serafina's mother? No, it's not that, Wesa said, shaking his head sadly. Her mother was devastated by what happened. After Serafina's death, she lost all hope. But where is she? Brayden asked. Everything in these forests reminded her more and more of Serafina. The trees, the rivers, the rocks and sky, even you and me. It was breaking her heart to stay here. She went west with the cubs to the Smoky Mountains to find more of our kind. I understand, Brayden said, nodding. Serafina listened to Wesa's story of her mother with fascination. It made her so sad to think that her mother had gone, but she was relieved to hear that she and the cubs were all right. Then she thought, Serafina's death. That was what Wesa had said. That was what they were calling it. Her death. Brayden looked at Wesa. But you didn't go to the Smoky Mountains with them. No. But why? Wesa lifted his eyes and looked at him, almost angry that he would ask him that question. The same reason you didn't go to the hospital in New York when your aunt and uncle told you to. The doctors might have been able to fix your leg. You're right, Brayden said. But what did you mean that there are still many feet traveling many paths? Something is coming this way, Wesa said. I've seen a clawed creature with terrible powers. Dark storms have been ripping through the forest each night. The rivers are swelling, destroying everything in their path, and the black folds are increasing. The people of Biltmore are in grave danger. Is it her? Brayden asked, a sudden fierceness in his voice. I do not know. But you've seen her again, haven't you? No, not since the night she left. Serafina didn't know who or what they were talking about, but when Wesa said these words, his voice was edged with emotion, almost as if he felt guilty about what had happened. Not since you helped her, you mean, Brayden said, his voice filled with bitterness. I still don't understand why you did it. When I found her in the forest, she was bleeding so badly. She couldn't move or speak. She was going to die, Brayden. Yes, I know. You should have finished her off. You don't understand, Wesa said. She wasn't just suffering from the wounds from the battle on the patio. I know what wounds from dog bites and panther claws look like. Something else had gotten her. I found her curled up under a fallen tree, shaking miserably. Something had beaten her savagely, broken her bones, tore into her flesh, even burned her. I've never seen anything like it. Okay, we don't know who they're talking about yet, but they've given us a few clues. In the forest, the night from the patio, so the night that Serafina died, badly injured. Third, Brayden is upset that Wesa helped save whoever this was, so I bet you're starting to form a prediction in your head. I'm going to keep reading, see if you're right. I don't understand, Brayden said, fear gathering in his eyes. You mean like some sort of animal? Or a wicked curse? What do you mean something else had gotten her? I don't know what attacked her, but it was the most disturbing thing I've ever seen, Wesa said. But she was our enemy, Wesa. Why didn't you destroy her right then when you had the chance? Waisa looked down at the ground. He didn't know how to answer Braden's question. "You're right that I may have made a terrible mistake," he admitted. "But when I saw her there, lying on the ground, suffering so badly, I just kept remembering the night Uriah killed my sister. I could not save my sister from death. No matter how hard I fought, I did not have the strength and speed and fierceness I needed to protect her. But I was looking at this helpless, wounded girl on the ground." Fourth clue. "I realized that I could save this girl. I've been fighting for a long time now, but that is not what I was before. It's not all I wish to be. My mother and my grandmother taught me that sometimes you win the battle not by fighting, but by helping and healing. Sometimes there's more than one path to follow. It is not always clear which way to go, but I wanted to follow the right path, at least the best I could. When I saw Rowena lying there like that, something stayed my claws. Do you understand?" How many of you guessed Rowena? For a long time, Braden did not look at his friend, could not look at him, for he did not want to forgive him, but finally he looked up at him and he nodded. "All right, tell me what happened next." "I picked her up and carried her to a safe, hidden place. I bound her wounds and I helped her through the days and nights that followed. I gave her water and food and a place to sleep and heal." "Then what happened?" Braden asked. "On the night of the quarter moon, I came back and she was gone. She just disappeared." "Disappeared?" "She slipped away. I looked for her for several nights, but she had become nothing but mist in the swamp." "The creature you spoke of, the storms and the swelling rivers," Braden said. "I don't know if she's causing all that," Waisa said, "or if that creature is the thing that attacked her and caused those terrible wounds." Serafina couldn't help scanning the forest around them. Waisa had seen the storm creature, and he knew something was coming. Braden looked down again at her body lying in the grave. "But is this how it's all going to end, Waisa?" Braden asked. "With Serafina in the ground?" "We stay bold, my friend. That's what we do," Waisa said. "We fight." "Even if we've already lost the battle?" Braden asked in dismay. "Especially then," Waisa said. "The war isn't over. We stay strong, and we stay smart. You still have the cloak, right?" "I still have it," Braden responded. "Well, keep it safe. Keep it hidden. The cloak is our only hope, and whatever's coming, we'll fight it together." Braden nodded in agreement. "And you keep the Panther safe." "I'll do my best," Waisa said solemnly. "Stay bold." With this, Waisa leapt into the forest, changed form in midair, and bounded away on 4 legs. Braden watched Waisa go. He and Gideon remained at the side of the grave alone. He seemed to be thinking about Waisa's words, trying to understand what he should do next. Then he slowly turned back to the coffin and looked at her body in the grave. "Come back to me," he said to her. "Believe me, I'm trying," she said as a pang of sadness moved through her. Braden replaced the lid on the coffin and slowly, almost reluctantly, pushed the dirt back into the grave and reburied her. When the work was done and he was about to leave, he looked up at the angel. "Take care of her," he told her, and then he turned and headed back toward Biltmore. Serafina wanted to follow him, but she let him go. There was nothing she could do to help him in that direction. She had to join them in the fight against the coming darkness, and she could see only one path to follow. Let me know what you thought of chapter 27. If you want to post a reply in the comments, I would like to hear why you think and why the author said that Waisa helped Rowena, and your opinion. Do you think it was wise or unwise of Waisa to save Rowena? So why did he help her, and do you think it was wise or unwise? Happy Friday. Have a good weekend. Love you. See you.